Welcome back to Broncos and Parts Garage. My name's Chris. If you're new to the channel, please stick around till the end. You'll see additional links for content we've already created and uploaded. Today I've got Christian as a guest mechanic. Say hi, Christian.
Hello.
All right, with that, behind me I've got a 1994 Ford Bronco. We are going to be removing the top and replacing all the seals. Now please keep in mind that I made a video before showing you how to remove the trim and how to replace the tamper-proof hardware. I'll put a link in the description below. You just got to hit the title and hit the word more. It'll drop down. Back to this project. We're going to take off the trim. We're going to remove the top, set it down, and again, go over everything you need to do to replace all the seals. For the guys that have 87 through 91 Broncos or 4th gen Broncos, the seal technique is going to be the same. The only difference is the hardware that holds down your hockey stick trim that curves up to your B-pillar. That'll be held in with Phillips screws, as well as your topper hardware will be a very narrow or thin 5/16 headed bolt, I believe. But again, everything else is the same. Let's get some tools and get started. The first step will be removing this hockey stick trim, we call it. It's a long plastic trim that goes along the topper and up your B-pillar. As you can see, it's held in with these rigid plastic plugs, like Christmas tree plugs. More than likely, you're gonna break a few of these. I hope not, but I do sell a similar product just like this. So we're gonna start back here on this end. Christian's gonna start popping these out. I do wanna say that we did remove the glass just for ease of the video, but if it will not change the technique, he's just gonna be working from the outside. You'd just be removing these from the inside. It just made it a lot easier for us to film and get some light in here. So let's get started. All right, we'll start in the back. Go ahead, Christian. You notice he's gonna slide that under there gently and then put his thumb over there to keep the plug from splitting. That's one, perfect. And again, if they break, don't worry, that one broke. There you go. I'll put a link in the video description for these plugs. I'll put a link in the video description for one of the pry tools if you don't have one. But you want to set these aside and keep them.
I've noticed that if you go side to side, guys, it works a lot easier.
Yep, wiggle that thing in there. Try not to scuff your trim. Perfect. Repeat the same step on the passenger side, removing the pins. The next step will be removing the 3 pieces of trim that seal up your topper to the cab of your Bronco. There's 5 screws total. We're going to start with the center trim piece right here. It's a small narrow piece. It's a number 2 Phillips screw. We're going to take this out, keep the screw with it. We're going to set this aside. Now at this time, we're going to set this trim aside and we're going to pull out the hockey stick trim. Christian, you want to grab this? All right, take that out. And again, repeat the same thing on the passenger side. Remove these 2 screws and set that trim aside. The next step is removing your rear vertical trim. This is part of the 7-piece set in the 92 through 96 Ford Bronco. This is held on with 2 door trim pins, we'll call it. Basically, you just take the trim and pull it straight towards the middle of the truck. It'll pop right out. It's very simple. Sounds like it's breaking, but it's not. It just goes in these little light bulb or hourglass shaped things, and it connects with this trim right here. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. At this point in the video, we've removed all the plastic trim all the way around. Kind of give you a bird's eye view from inside the truck itself. The next thing we're gonna do is remove these 8 clips that are held down with your tamper resistant hardware. There's 4 clips on each side, and then on your B-pillars, you have the 2 long vertical clips. We're gonna remove these as well. Let's get started. We're gonna start doing the easy ones first. We'll save the hard ones for last. The hard one would be this bolt that's in the far corner. It does not have a clip on it. We're gonna remove these and then the vertical B-pillar clips first. What you need, what works best is, again, you'll have your glass in, will be a 1/2-inch swivel and impact, and a 1/2-inch impact T40 with the tamper resistant. I don't know if you can see that. There's a hole in the end that fits over the pin. Let's get these out.
normally that one does not come out that easy.
Yeah,
guys.
a lot of times these are really rusty. This one, hopefully from the sight of this, looks like it's gonna come out easy. But again, I discard these or put them aside, and I do replace this with stainless steel hardware. Let's continue. All right, now you've seen me use a swivel. Obviously I don't need a swivel when I'm on the outside, but when you have the glass here, it's very tight. You will need a swivel for most of these. And you wanna make sure that in using the swivel, you don't wanna strip these out. Repeat this process on the other side. The next thing we're gonna do before we take out this rear bolt on this side, on the driver's side, is remove the third brake light harness. We're gonna pry it off. It's just held on with a Christmas tree pin. There you go. Now we're going to disconnect the terminal. Try not to break off the tabs. These are very, very sticky, but it's just a matter of bending the tabs back and pulling it apart. Okay. When we put this back together, we will be putting a little bit of dielectric grease on it. All right, now we've got that out of the way. Keep in mind though, I want to remind you guys that I do sell the clip sets that hold the topper down if yours are missing. We saved the hardest bolt for last. We got a 1/2 inch swivel, a 1/2 inch Milwaukee impact, and I've got this Impact T40 Torx with the tamper resistant. Believe it or not, I'm embarrassed, but right now our gun is missing the hog ring that holds the sockets on, so it's making everything a little bit more difficult. But I'm gonna get this together right now. Check the strength on the gun, get it on there. And I'm just gonna hammer it just like this. Ready? Well, it wasn't too bad. As a matter of fact, it's probably the easiest one we did. Do the same thing to the other side. We're down to the final 4 bolts. There's 3 of these tamper-resistant bolts that run along the top that seal the topper to the cab of the truck, and then we're going to show you how to remove the seatbelt bolts. That requires a T50 Torx bit. Christian's going to take these 3 out. And with that, we've got all the fasteners that are mechanically holding this topper to the truck. Now we just need to remove the seat belt shoulder harness using a Torx T50 on both sides. We'll show you one side, just repeat on the other. And the hardware stays in the seat belt, so you don't have to worry about losing that anyway. It's time to get the topper off the truck. I recommend doing it with 2 people. I know a lot of guys have made contraptions with 2x4s and whatnot, or they kind of hop in there and put it on their back and hop down. I'm 53, I'm not gonna do that. He's kind of scrawny, he's not gonna do that. But what he is gonna do in a second is hop in, bend over. He's gonna kind of lift up. He's gonna break both the seals loose, and he's gonna kind of move the topper to the back of the vehicle about 1 inch. He's gonna slide it off 2 pins that they're alignment pins that are on the 5th generation Broncos. I don't believe they are on your 4th gen or 3rd gen or 2nd gens. Then we're gonna move the top back about 1 inch or 2. He's gonna hop out, we're gonna grab it, carry it back, flip it over. If anything goes bad, you guys are gonna see it because I'm not turning this camera off. Let's get to it. And there it is on the ground. Let's get those seals started. Now that the top's off, we're gonna wanna clean the topper surface right here on the body of the truck. Christian, go ahead and spray that off and clean it. I'm not gonna film all of this, so I'm gonna turn the camera off. I'm gonna let him work his way all the way around and get the body of this truck nice and clean. As you're cleaning the body down, you'll run into a couple seals. This first flattened out one, we're gonna deal with this in a minute. Right now, we're gonna remove this seal, which seals up the topper and the cab. This is probably the one that protects the inside of your truck the most from any type of leaks. It's on a welt. You're just gonna pull it away and slowly peel it away, and then you'll wanna continue cleaning the surface. Go ahead, Christian. Let's get rid of that one.
Nice and gentle like.
Yep.
Make sure not to scratch nothing.
Yep, and we'll throw that away. We're gonna continue cleaning this. We'll be right back. Okay, we've got most of the body cleaned up. Christian did a really nice job wiping it down. We got all the debris and 25 years of gunk out of there. We've removed this seal. Now you'll notice right here, when we took this top off, there was a piece of foam about 1 inch wide, probably about 10 inches long, went right here. Now, another Bronco I have outside does not have that piece of foam. I've taken plenty of these off. I've never really paid that much attention to this. So my suggestion is if you take your topper off, I don't know if someone put this here or if it's from factory, because again, I've seen them with and without it. So throughout the last two and a half decades, people may or may not have replaced this or done things to make the topper seal up again if it's been leaking. So my suggestion would be, if your truck had this seal, I would put it back. I'd go to Home Depot and buy a thin piece of sealant. If your truck didn't have this right here, I would leave it alone. And that's the tip I'm gonna give you. Again, the 4th generation Broncos have an additional seal that mounts to the body. This is the 5th gen, it only has one here. Then it has the rest of the seals on the topper. We're gonna show you those right now. We're gonna start working on the topper now. We're gonna take out these 4 Phillips screws. Hopefully yours aren't too corroded. We're gonna back these out. You're gonna save these screws. And then we're slowly gonna start peeling back this seal. There is adhesive underneath we're gonna have to clean up. So go ahead, Christian, and let's get started on that. And this is the back of the topper. Take those, put them on the side. Okay. Is that one coming out, or is that one stripped out a little bit?
It's, I think the top stripped out.
All right, just do it and pull up. Apply it. Yeah, lift up the seal while you do it.
It's glued on pretty good.
Yeah. Got to break this glue loose. You don't have to worry about tearing the seal. We're going to try to get it off in one piece. We've got this screw. It looks like over time it's oxidized and corroded. There we go. He's got it out. So we're going to have to replace that. We'll keep that. Okay. Slowly peel that back towards me. I'm going to break that seal. Here, slow down. Let's get a scraper and we'll push and pull at the same time. So give us a second, we'll be right back. I've got a scraping tool. You can see the old adhesive. We're gonna get that off. I don't really want to beat on this because I don't want to gouge the fiberglass, but I'm slowly gonna just kind of push this back. Yeah, see if this is a really old one. This is really gonna be a challenge to get off. Let's see here. Trying to think of the easiest way. Sure wish I had a file. Kidding. We're gonna work this back. Again, this is gonna be an interesting thing to get all this up. You don't have to do that, man. Unless you jump for you. Let me try switching to a paint scraper. Maybe this has a little bit different edge on it, a little wider.
More of a file-like shape.
All right, we're getting near the end of the scraping. There's one more screw here. We're gonna back that out. Remember, you wanna keep all these screws. So let's finish getting this off right here. Now, we've got to remove most of this adhesive and the rest of this foam. I'm gonna go get a adhesive or decal removal wheel. We're gonna give that a try. We'll be right back. We're getting ready to remove the adhesive. We're using one of these adhesive or decal removal wheels. I'll put a link in the description below. You can get these on Amazon. They're fantastic for removing stickers and obviously adhesive like this. I'm gonna show you a few seconds of what we're doing. I'm not gonna film us doing the whole thing, removing the adhesive. It'll just be long and boring. But rest assured, it's gonna take a little bit of work. I'm guessing, if looking down at the adhesive you see here, I'm guessing at the speed, probably about 20 minutes of grinding. You're probably gonna really eat one of these wheels up. We have 2 of them. We have one here, and I have an older one right here. Again, links in the video description. Grab one of these. They're just great for multi-purpose. Let's get started.
You can use those on paint as well.
As you see right here, it really is taking the adhesive right off. Going bare, let's do a little bit more. Oh.
Well.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember to tighten these chucks out. You guys know that I make legit videos, so stuff like this happens. I'm not going to edit this out. I don't know, maybe I will, but
nah.
I would recommend probably using the electric drill too. We just grabbed this real quick to get it done. Let's try a little bit more. Actually, I'm gonna rotate it the opposite direction so it tightens up as I do it, not loosens. And I don't know if that doesn't sell these, I don't know what else would. We're gonna turn the camera off and we're gonna get all this adhesive off. Now, other ways of doing it would be scraping it. That's gonna take a long time, or using a file or something like that. Use the metal edge. Christian came up with one of these paint scrapers with the razor blade. This worked really well, but you don't want to dig in or accidentally gouge into the fiberglass because you don't want any additional channels for moisture or water to get in. So use something like this sparingly, or the paint scraper. Let's get going. Okay, we're back. We've got the topper surface really nice and clean. We're gonna wipe it down with some alcohol to make sure the new contact cement sticks. Right now, Christian's got the other scraper, and we're gonna remove this secondary seal on the front of the topper. Go ahead, Christian. Now this one does have an adhesive on the back, and the new seal will have an adhesive as well. But this is the seal I'm talking about. It goes all the way around the whole perimeter, all the way over this side. So we're gonna get that off right now. We're gonna do that off camera. So just be careful, take your time, and then make sure you get all that old adhesive off that topper seal. All right, we're back. We've got that front, what I call the front header seal. That's been taken off, and all the adhesive has been taken off. We've got one more seal to remove, and that's very, very simple. That's just this channel seal that your window slides up into. We'll call it the, the window track seal or the window channel seal. Okay, we're gonna remove the seal now. There's a long push pin right here, and there's actually one on each side. Right now, Christian's gonna get the pry tool, stick it back in there, we're gonna pry it out. It's about 2 inches long. Keep going. And then we're just gonna simply pull this channel out. This was in very, very, very poor shape. Another push pin down there?
Yeah, there's 4 on it. There's
okay.
4 on it total.
Yeah, we might need a smaller pry tool. Can you get it out of there? All right, we wrestled that out. We're gonna wipe this channel down, just clean it up. There's no adhesive that goes inside here, just those push pins. We're putting in the tailgate topper glass seal right now. There's no adhesive. We got these at Jeff's Bronco Graveyard. Actually, we got all the seals at Jeff's Bronco Graveyard. I'll put links in the description below so you can order this up from them, or at least call with the part number. They came with one new pin. It did not come with a second pin in this kit. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to come or not. I'll call Jeff's. So we reused one kind of a, slightly damaged pin and the new one, but it's just really a matter of taking it, pressing that in like this. We're just gonna push the pin in the existing hole, like you see there. I'm gonna get the back of a screwdriver and push that in a little bit more in a little bit. But right now, we're gonna get this in, and then we're just gonna feed this seal into this channel. It's very simple. Get that in. I'm pushing that in. I'm gonna push the top one in. Now I've stretched this a little bit when I was putting it in, so we got a little bit of slack here. We're gonna run this all in.
See here? Yeah, popping out all over the place. Over here, I can stretch it this way a little bit.
Get your finger in there. And again, if you have a back of a screwdriver, you can actually get this in here and get a little bit tighter. But as you can see, now it's all going in good. And again, when you roll your glass up, it's gonna go in here. It's gonna repeatedly seat this seal. But right now, that looks fantastic. The old seal was dry, rigid, really weathered. I'm glad this is gone. Let's move on to the top seals. We're gonna be putting the top seal on. We use contact cement, a trim contact cement. A lot of guys just put one coat down on one of the pieces here, like the top or the seal. You're actually supposed to put it on both, so when they stick together, it's contact cement. This stuff doesn't come off. I've traced this already, and you can come in and look. I put a pen right here. I lined up the screw holes where the trim gets screwed down. And then I kind of just used a blue marker to outline where I want to put all that adhesive, just so I don't slather it on too much everywhere else. Doesn't matter if you get too much on there. The seal is gonna kind of line itself up down the trim, and you can see where Ford painted this thing. We're gonna go right down the middle and slather a little extra on. At the very end, we are gonna have to take this and pull that and stretch it a little bit to get that screw hole in here. Let's get that started right now. Let's get the adhesive on the topper right now and get it drying. And again, you can really get this stuff on here. It's gonna dry, and when it dries, that's when it becomes contact cement. Right in there. And then I'm gonna go down the main aisle right here and get this all on here. Remember, the weight of the topper will also help hold it on, but for all intents and purposes, we wanna make sure that we can rely strictly on the adhesive, get a good seal, don't have to worry about water leaking for another 25, 30 years. And it looks like I'm just slathering this stuff on, because I am. You just gotta coat it. We want it to dry. It takes about 10 minutes for it to dry and become tacky. And I'm not gonna do the other side on camera, so just kind of watch what I'm doing, and you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. It's starting to get a little stringy anyway. I'm gonna work our way down the side just to the outside of this paint. Here, come around the back side, Christian. And you can see where the paint is probably where the seal's gonna end. That's the screw hole, so we know that where that ends. I'm gonna just go over it one more time here. Follow me down this way. Just look for some light spots.
And lock back in here.
Okay, that's all set. The next thing we're gonna do is let that dry, but really quick, we're gonna get the adhesive on the back of the seal so we can make the contact and make it stick. We've got the contact trim adhesive on the seal. We're gonna give this about 10 minutes. We're gonna wait till this dries and gets tacky, then we're gonna install it on camera. Okay, we got the seal, we've got contact cement on both pieces. I've got Christian holding that piece up because we don't want that to accidentally make contact with the topper surface. Meth Head Fred has got the rear portion of the seal. He's gonna line up the holes and I'm gonna run them down, and then Christian's slowly gonna walk that way and get that seal stretched around the corner, and we're gonna run that screw in. So go ahead, Fred, and line up those holes very carefully.
Yep, that one.
All right, is that one lined up?
No, that one is though.
All right, all right.
We got on it.
Yeah, I'm on it.
There you go.
And we'll do this one. So I'm gonna run it down. Hold on, Christian, don't go yet. We're gonna get these down. That was the one that was stripped out before, so we're gonna leave that alone. That's nice and tight. And Christian, here, grab the screw gun. We're gonna line this seal up, guys, just like this. I'm gonna put it down. Hold on, Christian. You get your hole lined up. Are you good? You got the right length?
Yeah.
Okay, because once I push this down, this is gonna bind in here. You got it?
Yep.
Okay. Give me that, Fred. All right. Sorry about the shaky video, guys. All right, we got that down here. Hold the camera. I'm just gonna push this seal down like this. And this is gonna stick on here. And with any luck, we'll get another 25 years of decent seal on here. Again, sorry for the shaky video, but you get the idea. We ran these 3 in. There's actually 4, but we got 1 stripped out. We ran the seal down because you got to stretch it just a little bit, or you might not have to. We ran this screw in and then went back and tucked all this in. Again, this contact cement wasn't completely dry, so we had a few minutes kind of to play with it. If you wait about 20 or 30 minutes, when you touch these two, it's usually permanent. But right now, that looks good. The seal's in place. Everything looks good. You'll want to repeat this process on the other side. We're going to do that off camera. The next thing we're going to do is do the front topper to body seal. That has its own adhesive. We're going to get to that right now. While we're waiting for the contact cement to dry on the passenger side of the topper, we're going to put on the front, what I call the header seal. It already has adhesive. We've cleared the glue off. We've cleaned this with alcohol. Basically, it's a peel and stick. We're going to start right here and pull back, and we're going to push that seal against this fiberglass lip right here. And that's going to help you line it up. And just do a little bit at a time. Just make sure that you got a nice clean surface. Try not to get your fingerprints on it. The more oil you get on that surface, the less it's going to stick. And again, you want this to last, you know, for another 25, 30 years. I'm going to keep doing this, and we'll turn the camera back on when I'm done. We've got the side seals. We've got the tailgate glass seal. We've got this one down. The contact cement has been fantastic. We've got the header seal down, as I call it, like you see right there. The next thing we got to do, I'm going to walk over here past all this junk, is we're going to get the welt seal, or the, you know, the primary body seal that goes on right here. We're going to get that on right now. Christian's got it laid over the body of the truck. We're going to start just a little bit past that edge of that metal, going on a little bit more right there, and press that on. It's got metal inside that. The interior rubber, the exterior rubber obviously is hollow, and we're going to press that on. This is kind of like one of the door seal videos I made. You want to get it on there nice and tight. You could even use a dead blow hammer or rubber mallet just to pop it on, make sure it's not loose. But it is a pretty shallow welt, so he's going to work that away all the way down. And if you have any extra, just cut it off on the end. And it looks like we're going to have a little bit extra on the bottom, so we're just going to cut that off. We'll do that right now. All right, we've got the seals on. We've got the body seals on. We've got the top of the body cleaned up. I sure am using the word body a lot. Aren't I, Christian?
Yeah, well, you know.
Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to flip the topper back over, set it back in place. Earlier I said that there was pins up front. There are actually 2 pins in the back and only 1 pin up front that help align it and hold it in place, keep it from shifting around. So you'll see them when you take your top off. Let's get this on. We've got the topper back on. Now, when you go to tighten this up, guys, okay guys, we've got the top on, we've got the seals put in. It's a pretty simple job. Be careful when you're dealing with that rubber cement or the contact cement. We've got the vertical trim in, we've got the 3 top bolts in, snugging the top to the cab of the truck. You're basically gonna just reverse the steps, taking it off. You're gonna put in the 4 clips and bolts on this side and on the other side, and then put those 2 last mechanical fasteners in the corners. I made a video upgrading that hardware to get rid of the tamper-resistant bolts. You might want to check that out. Again, I will put a link in the description below. Make sure you reconnect your third brake light. If you've got a crusty or faded third brake light, I do sell reproductions, so hit me up. All of these seals can be purchased at Jeff's Bronco Graveyard. And again, I will put links in the video description. So if you call them or you get on their website, you can order them up. It's a great fit. The rear seal right here will seat and kind of embed itself a little better as you run the window up and down. You don't need to put any type of lubricant on that. Again, it's a pretty simple job. I wouldn't want to do it by myself. Make sure you have a helper, extra set of hands when moving the top and positioning the top. You don't want to pinch your fingers or anything. Also remember to reconnect your seat belts to the top. It's a T50. I really appreciate you watching this. Drop some comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you can do it better or I did something wrong. We're still learning. We'll see you next time.